LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't predict the future, but it can help you feel confident about future hires. Because Hiring Pro combines real-time insights and candidate data from the LinkedIn network with the criteria you've set for your role to deliver you a list of top-fit candidates. Businesses who use LinkedIn are 24% less likely to reopen a role in the next 12 months. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
Study and play come together on a Windows 11 PC. And for a limited time, college students get the best of both worlds. Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
Looking to see what's happening around your home? Ring's battery doorbell helps you track packages and see who's at your door in real time. The Outdoor Cam Plus protects your yard at night with a wide field of view and clearer Retinal 2K video. Or upgrade to 4K cameras and doorbells with Retinal Vision for ultra-clear zoom and detail. Your door, your yard, your home. With Ring, it's protected. Shop cameras, doorbells, and more at ring.com now.
So welcome everybody to the Premier League Cricket Show, and it is week 8 of the Premier Leagues around the country. Yeah, okay, Northamptonshire, you've only had 3 weeks, but that's by the by. Back from holiday, we're back to talk about all things Premier League, but there was weather, Mr. Newsom. We've had the first weekend where we can honestly say we had no idea who was going to finish and who wasn't, did we, mate?
Yeah, well, from my point of view, it was great. I thought I wasn't getting a game on Saturday, obviously a much lower level game than a Premier League game, but we had a 2 o'clock start, 36 overs. It was excellent. It was like finished at 6:30. I like 36 overs. That's just about right.
Oh, hang on a minute. You like 40, now you like 36. I can see where this is going.
2 o'clock start, nice lazy morning. I mean, the fact that it was chucking it down wasn't great, but yeah, 2 o'clock till about 6:30. That's felt like as a wicketkeeper, I can imagine, if you're a bowler or something, you want a few more overs and stuff. But yeah, so maybe we've found like how T20 was invented out of the back of, shortened cricket. Maybe the 36 over super smash or whatever it's going to be called is the way forward. 50 over is doomed, 36 overs for the win.
And you got 50.
Yeah, well, I get a few 50s, but yeah, I didn't leave a straight one like I left the week before. So after going on about never being out, bowled leaving one the week before to a mate, and the next week I get bowled leaving one. Yeah.
That might be why you enjoyed 36 overs, because you got 50 anyway, you see.
Yeah, well, I've got a bad back at the moment as well, so 36 overs is about right for a bad back, yeah. But yeah, no, there's some good cricket. There wasn't quite as many runs about. I think we had nearly 80,000 runs a week before, and we've had half that this weekend. But still, I think there was a decent amount of cricket, and it was a bit sporadic, wasn't it? Like, it was. Sometimes you get whole certain areas of the country washed out, but then I think there was places hit by rain, places missed by rain that you wouldn't have expected. So yeah, it was an interesting one that games towards the west got played, games in the east didn't get played, and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I was in East Anglia where some games got finished. Ramsey had a great win against Ashburn and Barton Wanderers on the road there, and then other games just didn't get started. It was just one of those weird weekends where we never knew what was going to happen. We make no excuse, therefore, that the 4 leagues we're talking about today are all generally on the northern side, shall we say, and actually they all got their games completed. And that doesn't happen very often, because the north generally gets it a lot worse than the south, doesn't it? Yeah.
I think certain leagues need to invest in cricket domes. We've got some news about that today, isn't there? But I think full-size cricket domes, it won't be long. The Edinburgh Cricket Dome, I reckon, get that sorted, and they can be the test bed, a bit like those stadiums in America.
Oh yeah, well, at least ECB don't have to pay for one in Edinburgh if they have one, do they?
That's right.
European Cricket will pay for it now, because European with the new ETPL or whatever it's called, another European talk. Liam Livingston was talking very nicely about it. Did you hear about that last week?
I have heard about it. I didn't hear him talking about it, but I suspect he's talking nicely about it because someone's paying him a nice amount of money to play in it. So
yeah, but he's also got to spend 8 days in Amsterdam and 6 in Dublin or something like that. I mean, who makes this up?
That sounds all right. Yeah. There's a few boys knocking about the Premier Leagues who, might be putting their hand up if a few teams are a bit short. Yeah. I suppose I can come and help you out for a week.
Obviously, we wouldn't name names Cameron Hemp, would we? Not in the slightest. Let's talk about some of the cricket that went on then. So there was the usual sort of mix bag of what goes on around the country, but I think what's clear is bowlers were in charge, 22 centuries and 40 fifers. First time this year that the fifers have not just beaten but hammered the batsmen around the country. Clearly, there were some ridiculously fast games. The fastest game of the day was finished with our friends at Findon Dolben, who decided to bowl their opposition out for 70 something, and we'll just get them in 6 overs, shall we? They decided they were Hoyland Swain for the day. Let's not mess about. But would you believe there were 15 Premier League sides around the country bowled out for less than 100? And we're going to talk about the North Staffs and South Cheshire League to start with, where without a shadow was one of the most remarkable games of the day. Now, unfortunately, we do have to talk about our friends at Porthill Park. So, Dan Hancock, we do apologise in advance, but it's not our fault that you couldn't chase down Hemheath when you'd bowled them out for 74. Who got the wickets to take them? Your hero, Mr. Newsom.
Well, I think when you're defending 74, then if you put a list of Premier League bowlers, you get a big list of Premier League bowlers of who you would consider would be able to defend 74, and then maybe chuck in a North Staffs, South Cheshire sort of vibe to it, then you'd go. I think there'd be very few people looking past Liam Banks. So I think he's walking out. They go, "Yeah, I got this, lads. Yeah, no problem.
Don't worry."
Pretty interesting start for Liam Banks. Tom Steele out for naught, and then John Hancock next ball, also to Liam Banks. Overlay to Louis Allison, also to Liam Banks, and he's also picked up Tom Longworth for 15. Caught Matt Hodgson, bowled Liam Banks, and Matt Hodgson with 4 catches as well, and then Liam Will Kilgareth, is that how I pronounce that? Kilgareth, Ollie Shirley, both got some decent runs and looked like it was game, set and match, and then a few. Tom Hodgson came back, and then Ben Topley with the win at the end there, and it's on camera as well. Which
it is. I make no apologies that our mate Mutz at my side of cricket, he's done a wonderful video, commentated all the way, and I thought it was quite nice. He did start with Liam Banks being skittled on his video. Shows that he did get absolutely skittled himself. But then I think the most remarkable thing about watching the video and watching it back, Matthew Hodgson behind the stumps, standing up to Liam Banks, 4 catches. I mean, that was a real top piece of work there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is not easy standing up to anybody really, and just to be so consistent to somebody as good as Liam. I suppose sometimes it helps when you've got somebody as good as Liam, because you know where the ball is going to go.
Yeah.
It's not easier keeping to top class bowling, but you can sort of predict where you're going to actually have to move your hands a little bit, and I assume it'll be a pleasure for him to be keeping to him. But to get 4 catches and such a crucial win is fantastic. So Liam just continues to prove he's just one of the best Premier League cricketers in the country, full stop, doesn't he? I mean, I know he's only got 9 here, but in the context of a game, that's still a lot of runs, to chuck in his wickets as well. So he's popped up in my all-rounders table, despite only getting 9 with a bat. A fantastic performance from him.
It was a mad game, wasn't it? To see that happen, and to see, the game was completed in 56 overs, which actually, compared to the fastest finish, was quite a lot. But 56 overs, 155 runs scored between them, and 20 wickets. Yeah, all I can say is it's just absolutely no coincidence that it happened on the same weekend that England and New Zealand played on a wicket at Lords, where things were skittled left, right and centre. Now, I'm going to ask you a question, Mr. Newsom.
Yeah.
Last September, you and I had the pleasure of walking on the hallowed turf at Lords for the whole day. Yeah. Now, did me and you think anything needed digging up there? Did we think there was absolutely anything wrong? Now, I don't believe the square was actually dug up. It was just the outfield in the end.
No, the outfield, yeah, the outfield.
But I'm of the belief that you make such a big impact on that outfield, it's got to have an impact on what's happening underneath that square as well.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, look, we don't know Lords, but that outfield looked pristine. I mean, it was
better than any outfield in the country.
So I'm not a groundsman, have no groundsman qualifications or interest in, but it was lovely. The turf did come up quite easily, so maybe that was why. But I mean, the wicket wasn't great in the ECB Championship final, wasn't it? It was sticky, and it wasn't a disappointing wicket for that game, but it certainly wasn't, I suppose, what you would expect for a top class international venue. But it was late September on a used track. So, but it certainly played better than what they played on at the Test match. Jesus, that was a shocking wicket, wasn't it? But yeah, it was. I mean, watching it last week, it wasn't a proper game of cricket, and we were always so critical of, like, when India roll out these shit tips and we get grumpy about these stupidly spinning decks. Well, it was pretty much the equivalent of that, wasn't it? It was unplayable. And the good thing about it was both England and New Zealand, that is kind of their home conditions, isn't it? So you couldn't accuse it of being biased in anybody's favour. But I think if India had trotted out on that deck, I think there'd have been some very, very unhappy Virat Kohli fans, wouldn't there?
Yeah, it just leaves me with one question in mind before we move on to the rest of the North Staffs and South Cheshire League. Could Liam Banks do it on a cold, wet Lord's Green one? There's the we normally ask the other question. It's always, can that famous footballer do it on a Tuesday night in Stoke?
Well, I mean,
we can ask it the other way around here.
If you're gonna, if the next test was at Lords. If the next test was at Lords, and obviously Ben Stokes has just got himself in a bit of bother, not Ollie Robinson. Ollie Robinson somehow stayed out of this. Well done, Ollie Robinson. Gus Atkinson's got himself in a bit of bother. There's 2 spots going. I reckon you could chopper Liam Banks in and stick him on that Lord's deck. Keep her up to the stumps. Yeah, absolutely. Keep her up to the stumps. I reckon Liam Banks is doing an awfully good job on that wicket. Against New Zealand in the next test, if that's happening, but it is not.
And
I'll
pick the Atkinson. I'll pick the one who's going to replace Atkinson. How about Ben Walkden from Newton Willows? Seamer doing really well in a competition that's full of slow left arm, as we know. Send Ben down there. Jobs are good, and who needs this England selected lot?
Who needs county cricket straight out of Premier League into the England side? That is a proper Bazball selection, isn't it? Yeah, the Shoaib Bashir route. But yeah, I think that is not a good wicket. But yeah, I'll touch on Ben Walton in a second. But he's on my notes to discuss today because he's had a rather good start to the season.
He has, definitely. Hey, let's have a look at the rest of the North Staffs and South Cheshire League, and started at the top there, Hugh. JG Meekins, had a great start. Scoring 257 for 9. But, to then bowl out your opposition, Ecclesall for 96, happy days there, and an early finish.
Well, it's early, absolutely. Everyone's happy on an early finish on a wet one, aren't they? So, yeah, JG Meekins 257 for 9 and 54, and then, Ecclesall bowled out for 96. Jalak Khan got a ton. That was a big one in the context of things. Sam Moores with 37. Matt Wright and Aranga Disanga with 3 wickets apiece. And then not much of the bat for Ecclesall, and Jalak Khan 3 for 17, Aman Tariq 3 for 39, and Ash Shaw 2 for 16 did the damage for JG Meekins. Comfortable there. Comfortable also for Stone. They put on 236 in their 53 overs declared, and then bowled Whitmore out for 146. Mohammed Imran got 43 for Whitmore, but not a lot else. James Coate 3 wickets, Warwick Flynn 3 wickets as well, and Joey Sharp with a very cheeky 2 for 4 in just 3 overs. Will Aylesbury got 56 for Stone. That was the deciding contribution in the match. Mohammed Imran, to go with his 43, also got 5 for 64 for Whitmore. A very useful contribution from him. Leek Longdon, apologies by the way, I've got a cold, hence the rather nasal, or more nasal than normal approach. Leek Longdon 155 for 9 in 49 overs, and Leek got it relatively comfortably 4 down with plenty of overs in the bank. Well, more than comfortably, really. Tom Hope got 50 for Longton, but Alex Mellor with 57 not out. Tom Hope also got a wicket to go this 50, so he'll be on our all-rounders chart somewhere. And then Newcastle and Hartseal against Checkley. Newcastle all out for 199. Rohan Valbahani 88. And then Checkley bowled out for 166. James Cameron with 40 was the top scorer, but not a huge amount else. Guy Bridget 4 for 37 with the deciding contributor with the ball. Theo Abel 2 for 31. So a good win for Newcastle. Hemheath game we just discussed. That's the Liam Banks carnage affair. And then Modishall, Audley 134 all out in 55 overs. That was a grind, wasn't it? And then Modishall got it 8 down. So, there was plenty in this game all the way through. They got it in 40 overs. But yeah, it's a long day. Joe Hawkins and Callum Hawkins, I assume they're brothers. Joe Hawkins, the Derbyshire spinner, with 27. And he also got 2 for 31 for Modishall. So that was a really important contribution from Joe in the day. And yeah, that's the North Staffs South Cheshire League.
Yeah, with the exception of Stone and JG Meakin scoring 250, I think it's fair to say normal service resumed in the North Staffs and South Cheshire after some of the ridiculous scores we'd seen over the previous weeks when the sun was blinded. Yeah, the North East League, by the way, I'm looking at that one. I'm still thinking there's a lot of bloody runs up there than we've seen previously. But it is normal service resumed. And at the top of the table in the North Staffs and South Cheshire, Modishall, our leading Hemheath champions from 2 years ago, will be thrilled to be in second place right now because having won in 2024, do you remember they had that absolute disaster of a start last year? But they're back up there now, and they're back in the right place where they want to be. JG Meakin's in third, but I think what's interesting after 7 games there, Hugh, there's basically 1 game between the top 6. So we've got a really, really tight league on the go there. Longton and Whitmore at the bottom, you could argue, are already a game behind. So you don't want to be left too far behind by the time you get to the halfway stage. But it's looking like a decent league up there this year. Yeah,
and Newcastle are interesting. They promoted 2 years ago, I think. They've got a good side. They've got some good young players. They're sitting in 4th at the moment. I think they finished 5th last year. Yeah, so they're heading. They're not far behind Modishall at all. They're really tracking. Everything's tracking in the right direction for them. Definitely. Talking of tracking in the right direction, let's go a bit further north and go to what some people regard as the biggest league in the country, the Bradford Premier League. And I say the biggest because it has so many more followers than quite a lot of the others, and has some absolute top quality players playing up there. They probably were as surprised as anybody else to find themselves getting a full set of games in. Now, there was some rain-affected stuff going on there as well. In particular, Champions New Farnley basically played a T20. But they all got results in their games. And, at least they got through the weekend, didn't they? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's not a huge amount of scores over 200. There's a few games made it past there. But, yeah, there's a few shortened affairs that looked a lot of fun. Bradford and Bingley, 164 for 4 in 30 overs. Jacob Slate with 45 against Pudsey. Pudsey didn't get there. They bowled out in 25 overs for 125. Matt Deuce with 22, but Archie Barraclough 5 for 19 off 6.4 overs. He's had a good day there, hasn't he? So good win for Bradford and Bingley. Methley against Farsley. Methley got the win. That game went, I think, just ever so slightly reduced. I think they just lost a couple of overs, I think. Farsley 233 for 9 in 48. Sabir Mahmood 77. Joe Pocklington doing the business. While he's not required by Notts, he's played quite a few Notts games recently in the T20. He got 40. Methley able to get it done pretty comfortably. They got there with a couple of overs to go, only 5 down. Jared Warner, 101 not out of 127 balls. Joe Davis doing his best to stop that with 4 for 48. But yeah, Methley got the win there. Ger Lane, New Farnley was reduced to 20 overs aside. New Farnley batted first, I think, and got 149 for 9. Ed Brown 41 off just 26. Adam Ahmed 31 off 26. Umar Yaqub with 4 for 26 in just 6 overs, and Adel Islam 4 for 38 in 6 overs. For Jer Lane weren't able to get there. Mohammed Wazin Khan got 28 off just 16. Yasser Ali 26 off 22, but Gurman Radwara 4 for 28 off 5 overs did all the damage, but it looked like a lot of fun there. I don't know how long they had to wait around to decide it was a 20 over game.
But it's a 50 over league, so you must be hanging around a hell of a lot.
Yeah, so it was a bit,
effectively
of sitting around.
You've got the national T20 champions in New Farnley then playing the game that they loved last year.
Yeah, good fun for them. And then Cleckheaton Morley. Morley came away with the win. They got 181 for 9 and 34 over Sajid Azim 66. Jack Rout also got 33. Jack Luxton got 5 for 37 for Cleckheaton, but they weren't able to follow that up in their 34 overs, 164 for 9. Just 20 odd short. Kazir Kadir 72 off 65 balls for Cleckheaton, but nobody else really able to trouble the scorers there. G Roberts 3 for 27. Matt Dowers 2 for 29. Vinit Patel 2 for 34 with the bowlers there. And then 2 more games. These ones actually got plenty of runs on the board. Woodlands, not bad side. 2-4-5 for 5 in 34 overs as well. Musin Hussain 105 off 99. Brad Shamilian 74 not out of just 56 balls, and that quick 74s could well be the difference in this game. Yeah. Ankit Sharma 3 for 60, 3 for Pudsey. Pudsey got 204 in there, so that's sort of 40 difference. Ricky Priestley 71. Archie's got 60, but nobody else really able to stay with him. Mohammed Bilal 4 for 62 in 10 overs, won the game for Woodlands. And then Townville, Carlton. Townville 255 for 7. Sorry, Sterling. Carlton 255 for 7. Saeed Akib Shah 50. Mohammed Tariq 44. Arush Shindi 41. All going well, taking it. Putting up a very, very decent total in 46 overs. Jack Hughes with 3 for 60, but then he turned around and 62 not out of 55 balls. Go with Kieran Collins 59 not out of 38 balls. Sanaj Darishka 59 off 75 for Townville. And they got it with 2 overs to go, just 3 down. So a really comfortable win in the end for Townville. But Carlton did very well to put a good score on the board. But that's the Bradford League this weekend. Yeah,
I think that the game that I was quite impressed with straight away is that Woodlands Pudsey St Lawrence game. 449 runs between them at 6.6 and over. They were moving there. But what's fascinating about the Bradford League last weekend, you only have to look on the map to see where all the clubs are. They're not far apart, but you look at the difference in the amount of overs they were able to bowl. That just sums up how random the weather was on Saturday and what you could play and what you couldn't play, really, wasn't it?
That's it, yeah. And also, I suppose sometimes it's umpire, sometimes it's light, isn't it? But just a patch of light, getting over it, all that kind of stuff. But covers, water getting under covers and all that business, yeah. I don't get involved. I sit there with a cup of tea and watch. And hopefully not have to push the covers off.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully I'm not missing something here. And I did note that we put a post out last week, which got over 100,000 views plus on Instagram, about the most informed batter in the country, Mr. Steve Bullen at New Farnley. He then didn't play on Saturday. So either I've jinxed him or he had a wedding to go to. It's got to be. Fingers crossed.
England caller.
Ooh, where was Bully? That is the question. Definitely. Not that they needed him at New Farnley there, but top of the league in the Bradford League right now, Townville. I've got a soft spot for Townville. There's no two ways about it. I've got a soft spot for them. We know that they're one of the few clubs out there without their own bar and just run a really good, sharp club.
Maybe Ben Stokes needs to sign for Townville. Maybe that's it.
Keep him away from the bar. Yeah, maybe.
No bar. Don't you see?
Yeah, definitely. They've got Jack Hughes has been leading the way there for a number of years, I think, and Kieran Collins and Connor Harvey, some of the guys around there that we've seen in the T20 a couple of years ago. So really nice to see them doing well. Woodlands in second place in the Bradford League, and just coming up behind them, New Farnley. They've had that loss a couple of weeks ago, which we said could be something that they could look forward to, hopefully getting them moving, shall we say. But the other news for New Farnley, which I think is far more important. End of last season, Mr. Newsom, me and you had a dream. We had a dream that the national knockout champions, Ormskirk, would play the equivalent to the Community Shield, shall we call it, against the National T20 champions, New Farnley. Obviously, we spoke to both clubs, and both clubs said, what a great idea, but you got no chance, boys, because they've got their pre-season organised and da-di-da, you name it. Fingers crossed is all we can say. Father's Day, 21st of June, the 4th round of the National Club Championship takes place. Should Ormskirk win, and should New Farnley win, Ormskirk will be taking a trip to New Farnley. And then we get our equivalent of the best of the best, don't we, Hugh?
No, that'd be great. I think ECB National is just looking so good this year, isn't it? And that would be a dream. I think we need a trip up there if we've got a free weekend. So I suspect you might be.
It's in my diary already, and it's 5 minutes around the corner from my daughter. I'll be there. There's no choice on that weekend. I know exactly which game I'm going to if the results go in that direction. Although I've got to say, we're not going to talk in any depth about the Liverpool District League this week, but what's going on at Ormskirk? Bowled out for 80-something twice in 2 weeks. We haven't seen that before, have we?
Well, they always say when you climb Everest, it's the coming down that is the dangerous part. So after their triumphs last year, everybody's kind of peaked and maybe just Is it the Alex Ferguson come in and have a bit of a shuffle around a few players just to freshen things up? Has Yapstam gone in there and started demanding a pay rise? We don't know. We don't know. They did have Tom Brown, the Aussie, as their pro, and he's left and he's gone back to Australia for pre-season over there already. So I'm not sure whether they've got a replacement there. I'll have to try and get hold of Gary Knight and see what's going on. Just to see that 2 weeks back to back, that was we messaged each other over the weekend, didn't we? It was like, bloody hell, hang on a minute. But yet they've done really well in the T20 still, and they seem to be keeping ticking over there. Yeah, that's still a good side. I think it's still a very, very good side. Yeah,
it is without a doubt. So,
pat a cake, baker's man.
If your child has moderate to severe eczema that's not well controlled with prescription topicals, their itchy skin can feel uncomfortable when playing with others. Dupixent, dupilumab, helps kids as young as 6 months stay ahead of their eczema.
Pat a cake, baker's man.
So they can have clearer skin and noticeably less itch. Dupixent helps them heal their skin from within, and it's not a cream, steroid, or immunosuppressant. Severe allergic reactions, including skin reactions, can occur. Get help right away for face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor right away of new or worsening eye problems like eye pain or vision changes, skin symptoms, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop other treatments without talking to your doctor. Dupixent helps your child feel the heal. Ask your child's eczema specialist. Visit Dupixent.com or call 1-844-DUPIXENT.
Where is Daredevil? I'm right here. Don't miss the return of Marvel Television's Daredevil Born Again.
So what's next?
I feel liberated. We're gonna take this city back. Over-medicated. In an all-new season, now streaming only on Disney+.
They're hunting us. It's time we started hunting them.
I can work with that.
This should be tons of fun.
Marvel Television's Daredevil Born Again, now streaming only on Disney+.
Well, whilst you're on there, let's talk Ben Walton, because his name's just all over.
It is
my stats at the moment. He's just having a season, isn't he? With the bat and particularly with the ball. Again, he's 23. Had a really good season in Australia. I think he was playing for Airport West in one of the sub-district comps. Did very well, got to the grand final there. I'm just looking at his bowling stats. In 2025, he took 40 wickets at 23. Percentage of team wickets is 15. This year in 168 overs, so half the amount of overs than he bowled last year. He's taken 52 wickets at 9.
Wow.
So something has really clicked with his bowling this year. Obviously, the weather's been a little bit more helpful. But it's not been massively more helpful. It's not been only the last couple of weeks we've had a decent amount of rain about. There's been a lot of cricket and it's been pretty dry. So he's just come back all guns blazing, hasn't he? And He's playing a bit of twos cricket. He played for Derbyshire the other day. Twos for Derbyshire, did he? Was it Derbyshire? I forget the twos cricket all blurs into one. Lancashire twos. I just think, watching him, he's bowling some good heat. One of these guys that, a bit like Rory Hayden, is there a guy that, absolute top draw cricketer, somebody back him, give him a contract, give him a professional winter with some, I would say, looking at Rory Hayden, he's probably put on a 5 MPH, do you think?
Absolutely.
Based on the back of just having a pro environment around him. Rory Hayden got a shout out from the Wisdom boys the other day, how impressed he was as a bowler, So is Ben Walkden the next one? I don't know, but certainly in terms of form players in the Premier League, bowling stats wise, last few weeks, Cumbria got 3 wickets. He got 5 against Northern, 2 again for Cumbria in T20, 3 for 18 in a T20 for Cumbria against Northumberland. Against Rainhill, he got 6 for 37. Against Rainford, 5 for 16 in 6 overs. Against Wallasey, 6 for 38 in 12 overs. Against Formby, 6 for 27. This is all from May onwards, so literally in the last month. He's got a 6 for 2, 3, 4, 4 fifers, and that's including some T20 in there as well. So he's form of his life. Add that to runs as well, 78 against Northern, a 61 not out as well in there. So he's started the season with 163 in the league against League. Is there a better form player in the country at the moment than Ben Walkden?
In terms of all-rounders, I would totally agree, 100%. Playing for Lancashire Twos this week at his home ground of Newton Willows. He scored 42 for Lancashire against Middlesex. And as we sit here right now, Hugh, he's taken 3 for 36 in 16 overs.
Is that today?
Today, yeah.
Excellent. There you go.
Yeah, and what's really, really wonderful for me is to see the guy who's taking 3 for 36 has been bowling alongside the guy who's taken 3 for 72, Tom Walker, from Lower House in the Lancashire League as well. Very nice. Lancashire definitely giving some of these young lads a real good push in that second team.
Good luck, yeah.
I wonder if it's got anything to do with having Daniel Salpietro as the head coach. And
Hope so.
Might sort of know his way around the Premier Leagues in that sort of area.
The problem is this. We can moan about it, can't we? But the problem in second team cricket is you need to be able to have a day off from your job, don't you? And you get paid. Is it 160 or something like that? It's not amazing money, is it? And you get some expenses and all the rest of it. But it's not great. And you've got to have a very flexible life to be able to commit to that. At 23, you might have a mortgage and kids. You don't know what's going on at 23. If you might be living with his mum and it's straightforward, but you'd assume he's probably got a place and he's got bills to pay. So it's you've got to be. You're taking a gamble as a second team player, aren't you? And it's not a reliable source of income, and if it means it's affecting your future career earnings, in whatever field you choose to go into, it's a difficult one. So good on him for giving it a whirl, but it's not a level playing field, shall we say? Whilst we're talking about the highs of Ben Walkden, I'll just point out one of the lows of a wet weekend, and this always makes me not snicker because it's unfortunate, but there's nothing worse, I think, as a batsman. Than what's happened to poor old Arjun Gill of Banstead. And that is a game that has lasted 5 overs and you're the only person who's got out. I always look for these when you get the rained off days where literally, there's about 3 balls bowled and one poor bastard's just got out. It's just like, you just gonna, as an opening bat, I love opening. I think opening's is the place to bat, particularly in club cricket. You know what you're doing. You're getting a gig every week, but there is these kind of days where you're trudging out to bat. He wasn't the only one getting out for not many, but the other one that caught my eye was at Old Northampton's. But Geddington actually put a first innings up, so they actually had a first innings before they got rained off, and then Shiv Harikrishna out for 1 off 3 balls. He was the only wicket to fall for Old Northamptonians, but it's not quite the same when the other teams had an innings. But I always think if basically about 10 balls has got bowled and you've lost your wicket, that's just a bit crap, isn't it?
It is just a wee bit. Now, what isn't crap though, and before we move on to the North Yorkshire and South Durham League, what isn't crap is I do have to talk about someone who's not with us today. It's sod's law that the day that he'd be able to talk about Blackpool being top of the Northern Premier League,
modest.
Mr. Matt Taaffe from Cric is not with us. But what I will point out, and this is one of my favourite stats of the week, is that they have now lost Blackpool their overseas pro. But having taken 46 wickets at 6.11 average in 104 overs, Ali Usman, we salute you. And do you know what? You deserve that call up to the Pakistani team to play in the West Indies and hopefully tour England later in the summer. Can you imagine it? I've heard from Taaffe that there might be a few of the Blackpool boys going to Headingley to see Pakistan, England. If Ali Usman's there, and you're watching the same guy who's had it on a string for you at Stanley Park. I mean, it doesn't get
smashed around the park.
It doesn't. But we want to see. Actually, we want to see him get smashed around the park by one of the Roux brothers who've come out of Premier League cricket as well. That'd make our day, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Premier League. No, I think just on Ali. I mean, like you say, his bowling this year. We were looking at his stats. 46 was 6. It's just a cheat code, isn't it? It's just
ridiculous.
Not fair. He's taken nearly 40% of Blackpool's wickets when he's been playing because he's got everybody out too quick. He's got a best of 5 for 7. That was a T20 against Lytham. And the other thing, though, and we talk about Taaffe, he's not here, so we can discuss him. But we talk about these sort of interconnecting players, these hive players. And maybe Taaffe is the hive player because he was there at Lytham, wasn't he? It was Zach Fuchs,
correct?
The pro at Lytham, into the New Zealand Test side or the Test squad, and now he's there at Blackpool, and Ali Usman's into the Pakistan Test side. So whilst not being, the dominant player that maybe Matt wishes he could be, is he this sort of hive player that connects people and develops people and pushes them on?
So where Matt goes, that's where the selectors should be looking.
Just follow Matt Taaffe around. Don't pick him, obviously. That'd be stupid. But just pick up all of his teammates.
Richard Gleeson, if you're listening.
Richard Gleeson. I mean, I suppose he kind of was already in the
correct. He was there before Taaffe went there.
That's it.
So maybe if we can get Taaffe to go to, let's just pick a name, Newton Le Willows. Ben Walton.
There we go. That's what it needs. Maybe.
Although it does tend to be overseas guys.
True, but maybe.
Absolutely. Let's talk. Let's talk Cric because he's not here, so we are going to talk very quickly about the batters and bowlers at the weekend. And they've only got 4 tons across their stable, but obviously a lot of cricket wasn't affected by the weather. But when you know that the first one is Sharon Fonseca at Denbigh in the Barnsley League, scoring 157 not out off 68 balls in a T20, that must have been brutal to watch, to say the least. But then following that one, 143 not out of 100 balls from Himasha Leonargi at Stafford. And then Mohammed Bilal in a T20 for Stamford Bridge, 105 off 48. Some of these boys are enjoying these T20s a little bit too much. But we've mentioned him already, Jalak Khan with a far more calm 104 off 128 balls for JG Meekins in the North Staffs and South Cheshire. I can't remember last time we only had 4 tons from his lot.
It was a bit wet, isn't it? Yeah.
It was a bit wet, to say the least, definitely. I'm just looking down the list to see if anyone else stood out there. Not particularly, but in the bowlers, we do have a Premier League bowler, and as it clearly states on the Cric Instagram, a Premier League bowler with a British passport, Cian Schwartz, 6 for 31 for Skelmanthorpe in the Huddersfield League, and then a bowler with 5 for 19 and a British passport, Dan Cook at Downham Stowe. So again, Gus Atkinson. Just saying.
Maybe.
We're playing games here, obviously.
They're gunning for his spot. I was at a very nice junior match last night, and the Ockbrook pro, I think he's the pro there, or might be an overseas amateur. He's a Cric ex-boy, and he was helping out with their under-13s, and that's what you want in it. You want your pro.
Yeah.
Yes, you want him getting some runs and wickets and all the rest of it, but do you know what? If he's knocking about the club and helping out with the juniors, I think massive tick.
I think
it was nice to see that.
I think it was Beverly Town I saw on socials putting something out on the other day saying, "What's it like seeing your all-stars being coached by a South African international?"
Oh, it's wicked, isn't it? Yeah.
This is what you want, isn't it?
It is what, yeah. It's
most definitely.
I personally think it's more important than the runs and wickets, but lots of people will disagree. I just think it just spreads like the eyes of the kid that just like, oh, wow, this is special. It feels a bit special, just a different accent, somebody coming in, different attitude, and it just that freshness, and it I don't know, it binds people to clubs, doesn't it? So yeah, good on all the pros helping out with the juniors.
Absolutely. Hey, let's go up north to another league that generally doesn't have high scores, but we're starting to see some very big ones this year, including the highest of the week. Ryan Gibson, Martin, scoring 149 of 128 balls in the North Yorkshire and South Durham League. That was the highest in the country at the weekend. When he scores 149 off 128 balls for Ryan out of 295 for Martin, basically scored half the runs, and clearly they would have won, but they've got win-lose-draw cricket there at the moment, and it was a winning draw. Disappoint you when you've scored that many. Martin in 5th place, would have been hoping to get a little bit better than that against Middlesbrough, who are down in 11th in the league. But great performance from Ryan. And what else you got up there in the northeast there, Hugh?
Well, we've got a few lads playing twice. We've got Martin and Stokes, Stockton, Saltburn all played twice. They played on the Sunday. Not quite sure what that is. I always think it's a bit naughty when you play Saturday, Sunday, because you can get a real advantage if you've got bad weather knocking about. You get your game done, and then everyone else gets rained on. But it obviously can work the other way. I'll start on the Saturday. We'll start at the bottom with Saltburn. Bishop Auckland, Saltburn 197 for 10 off just under 50 overs there. Joe Emerson 53 not out. Nathan Remington 4 for 50. Bishop Auckland didn't get anywhere close, 81 for 10 in 28 overs. Callum Oldfield put up a fair bit of resistance, and I assume it's his brother Scott Oldfield was the second top scorer with 10. Everybody else not quite so good. Liam Crooks 4 for 25, and Jack Almond 2 for 19. Miserly as always. And then the Martin game 295 for 9. Ryan Gibson 149. Chris Veazey 46 not out, supported him well off just 36 balls, and Lee Hodgson also with 43 off just 39 balls. And Kim Mallet with 3 for 83 for Middlesbrough. But they didn't get anywhere close, but it was a winning draw. They just needed the one wicket to get the win, and Middlesbrough clung on in 54 overs. Rhys Ditter with 54 was the main one with the runs. Sam Berry 5 for 44, not 4 for 54. 5 for 44 there. And then Barnard Castle, Richmondshire. We've got Richmondshire got 138 for 10. Joe White with 70 was the top scorer for Richmondshire, but they didn't get too many on the board. And then Barnard Castle got it very, very comfortably in the end. In 29 overs, just 4 down. Finn Usher 50 not out. Eddie Barnes 45 not out. Both reasonably quick. Harvey Websdale 2 for 38 was the only bowler that. 2 for 38 and Josh Downs both 2 for 40. But Carl Carver 4 for 10 was really the difference maker in the game for Barnard Castle off just 5 overs there. Hartlepool, Stockton batted first. They put up 261 for 8 in 50 overs. Joe Hewiston was 65, Chris Hooker 47, Ollie Mould 41. A few lads with twofers, and then Hartlepool got bowled out for 201 in 37 overs. Matt Adamson with 38 and Craig Symington with 38. He got 2 for 28 as well, so a decent performance from him. But James Ward with 3 for 17, Billy Shackleton 3 for 48. Got the win for Stockton. Stokesley, 300. We've got a 300 on the board. Joey, can I pronounce his surname? Whale?
Yeah, I'll go for Whale.
Johnny Whale. 109 off 125 was the top scorer and one of the top scorers in the country all weekend. Weren't too many hundreds knocking about. And then Darlington bowled out for 152 in 43, a mere 154 short. Not a great day for them with the bats. And Johnny Whale's brother, WJ Whale, 4 for 32 with the ball. Finn Morris, 3 for 48. And then the last game on the Sunday was Darlington A Cricket Club. They got 287 for 8 in 48 overs. And Mask bowled out in 45 overs. Farhan Ahmad, 73 for Mask, was the main contributor there. But Matt Pillans, 5 for 78 off 13 overs, did the damage. And Vishal Tripathi was with 89, was Darlington's top scorer. Doug Mulholland with 70 as well to help them to that big total. So a good win for them. And then 2 games on the Sunday. Martin playing Saltburn. Saltburn batted first at Martin's ground. Shachithra Saringi, 76 off 85. Sam Spencer, 66 for Saltburn. They put 219 for 9 on the board, but Martin got it comfortably. And Ryan Gibson doing all right there again, 68 off 91. Lee Hodgson, 57 not out. And Dan Moriarty for Martin got 4 for 44 as well to help the winning cause. Ollie Stewart, 357 was the best that Saltburn had on the day. And then the last one, Stokesley versus Stockton, the battle of the and it was quite a quick affair. Stockton 68 for 10 in 34 overs, and Stokesley got it in 9 overs. Finn Morris 5 for 28, so he had a decent weekend, and WJ Whale as well, 4 for 17. Those lads are in the wickets this weekend. That's the North Yorkshire South, don't we?
So big win there for Barnard Castle, beating Richmond Shire. Barnard Castle leading the run at the moment in first place with 22-point lead over Richmond Shire in second place. So to get a win over them this early in the season, there's only 8 games gone, and get that gap, I think, makes a big difference there straight away. And quite a comfortable win for them when you look at that for Barnard Castle. But yeah, I'm going to have one of the moans of the week that I haven't had for a while now.
Right.
We haven't talked point systems for a while, Hugh, and
how about talk knots? So yeah.
Yeah, well, if we look at the games on a Sunday, just in isolation, first thing I would say, there was 8 games in the North Yorkshire and South Durham League over the weekend, and there was only 1 draw, even though it was win-lose draw cricket. What's the point? Just go win-lose. But because they have win-lose draw cricket, they also then have some strange little foibles, shall we call it. So, Stokesley on Sunday won batting second and scored 20 points. Congratulations, boys.
Yep.
However, Martin, who won bowling first, guess what that means? They also batted second. Got 25 points. Why? Because they lost the toss. So they lost the toss.
Yeah.
And as a consequence, gave 5 extra points for the toss of a coin.
Yeah, I mean, they were obviously they could have then batted out for the draw and got points that way, but they lost the toss, so yeah.
It's 5 points for a toss, basically.
Yeah.
It's simple as that. It's not quite the Whipple 1 point if you got an umpire doing your 6th team. But basically, Stokesley won batting second. And by the way, their batting second was 9.3 overs for 20 points. Whereas Martin bowling first, as it says on the card, batting second, 222, 48 overs.
Yeah, I suppose they were put into bowl, so they kind of, yeah.
I appreciate they had a tougher job.
If you get a win after losing the toss, you get bonus points.
Yeah. Just makes things all so bloody complicated, to say the least. But hey ho, it's my first moan in I think 8 weeks about point system, so I ain't done bad this year, have I?
No. But public moan. I think there's been a few private ones, but yeah.
Well, yeah, private ones are different altogether, aren't they? So, the other thing I don't think we'd picked up on this one before either is Stokesley. There is actually 3 Whales. You've got Johnny Whale. WJ Wayhell and Andrew Wayhell. Now, we normally have to ask that question sometimes. Brothers, got to be with that name and all three playing in the same Premier League.
Or two brothers and a dad. Could be two brothers and a dad, couldn't it? Yeah.
So are the Wayhells the equivalents of the Wilcoxes at Downham Stone?
Maybe.
Keep an eye on that one, won't we?
I'm disappointed there's not a WG as well. Surely, if we had a WJ, we should have had maybe they need another brother that's a WG.
But we won't talk about that to the parents. The other big news out of the North Yorkshire and South Durham League, and hot off the press, inverted commas, he says, subject to the weather, I will be gracing the North Yorkshire and South Durham League with my presence on Saturday, the 4th of July.
Roll out the tees.
So I will be visiting either Mask versus Hartlepool or Saltburn versus Richmondshire. Where do you think I'll end up, Hugh?
Richmondshire, Saltburn.
We want to know what this Saltburn pitch is all about. We've been talking about it for long enough, haven't we?
To be fair, it's. I think the last couple of seasons it's been a bit better. More higher scoring, isn't it? Yeah. So
it's better. But I'm up in the northeast for a weekend, subject to the weather. And if I am up there, I'll be coming to see Saltburn versus Richmondshire on the 4th of July. And then I think it's Northumberland v Cumbria, I think it is, in the T20s on the Sunday. So I have a bit of a cricket weekend up in the northeast, and it'll be made one way or the other by the weather, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Whilst we jump to the Notts League, I think you probably spotted we had two ties in the country this weekend. One of them in the Notts League, which we'll touch on. We'll discuss the other ties in the Yorkshire Cricket Southern Premier League. Tickhill versus Cleethorpes. Now, there's something. When there's a tie game, for some reason, it's always funny to just look at the ball by ball and see how it ended up as a tie. What's happened to end up as a tie, and it's quite a fun end. Well, probably not if you're Tickhill. They shared the points, but essentially, it was all going wrong for Tickhill because they were 9 down in the 38th over, so they've had a really good recovery. They didn't need a huge amount to win. I think they needed, let's have a quick look from the 9th wicket falling. Where have we gone? Was it the 35th over? So they needed about, the 35th over. They've had a really good last wicket partnership. They put all the hard work in, and they needed 3 to win off 2 overs, from what I can see. 3 to win off 2 overs, a target of 138 and 46. So they still had another over to go. They managed to get 2 off the over and then a run out. And a tie game on a run out with an over to go, unless there's some weather maybe knocking them out. I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of the game in detail. But thanks to the glory of Frogbox, there's a direct hit. Oh no, it's not a direct hit. It's a dive and a great bit of fielding. And he's definitely short of his ground. So he is a glorious. We've got basically 30 centimeters of fresh air between a win and a loss. So really good game of cricket. But funny to look at that. But we'll jump to the Cavs game where there was the other tie this weekend. Woolton 257 for 7 batting first in 50 overs, and Cavs 257 for 10 in 50 overs. So a last ball wicket, and they needed 1 to win off the last ball, and they weren't able to get there. But just again, jumping to the ball by ball, it was a very interesting carnage finish. They needed 8 off the final over. They lost Fateh Singh first ball of the final over. Mohammed Abu Bakar, who is well known to me, is my lad's mate and teammate. He managed to get a few dots in and then got down the other end. Shafiq got a 6. And then he was out off the last ball, caught off the last ball. So Hamish Llewellyn got it done. So really great game of cricket at Woolton. It's not all going Cavs' way at the moment, but they're still well in the hunt, aren't they? But a really good start from Cavs.
Great side they had out there at the weekend, though. You see that they had Farhan Ahmed, Raheem Ahmed, Fateh Singh, And our old friend who scored a ton for Somerset Twos yesterday, Sav Pereira, who's scoring runs still left, right and centre. I think the biggest disappointment for Cavs there would have been that Fate was 78 not out when he got out. 78 and then he got out. And then obviously the skipper, Kafil Shafiq, hitting a 6. And then, that's a tight one to lose, isn't it?
Yeah, just a shout out. It's a cricket shout out in general. The lad, he's just batting 11 for them on the day. But he's AB, we call him, Mohammed Abubakar, 14-year-old leg spinner. He's a quick leggy. Keep a look out for him. He's been playing for Cavs teams for a few years. He's had a Bunbury trial this year, aged just 14. He's a really interesting little player. He's got a long way to go still, but he's a talent. And, to be his age, pushing into that Cavs first team at that age. This is the first team, as you say, Akil Patel, Sav Pereira, Bahan, and Raheem Ahmed, and obviously Rayhan plays as well. In fact, you've got some serious players, and what an environment for him to come into with those talents around him. So yeah, brilliant for him. He didn't get, he batted 11 and didn't get to bowl on the day. And normally he plays a team, at least one team down. Generally, I think he's playing mostly in their second team this year. But yeah, great, and just a great example of just getting the kids in and the experience they can gain from that. Yeah, jumping in then, Colliam and Notts and Arnold. Colliam got a pretty comfortable win. Notts and Arnold bowled out for 160. Arnav Jumli 44 off 75, and a pretty team effort to get them bowled out. Lots of twofers, two for their rep Bridgens. 2 for 32 was the best of the figures, and then Colliam, Dulash Udayanga 55 not out off 57, and Ben Jones 45, Liam 2 31 as well. Got the win for Colliam in just 30 overs, so a short finish for them. Clipston Papawick at Papawick. Clipston batted first, 202 for 9 of 38. And Haider Ali Ehsan 56, Ben Babra 5 for 37 for Papawick, but they were bowled out in 24 overs for just 100. Sam Watson got 44 and Byron Hatton Lowe with 41, and then the next high scorer was 8. So yeah, a bit of a collapse there. Maz Sheth with 4 for 15 off 6. Atik Dungara 4 for 26 off 8 with the main destroyers for Clipston. Comfortable win for them. Kimberley and Cutney, a battle of the big boys there, and Kimberley, Cutney batted first and were bowled out for 150. Thomas Lutt, 56 off 95 balls, proved it probably wasn't particularly easy there. And Joe Booker, 3 for 10. Alex King, 3 for 16 for Kimberley, and they got it done in 44 overs. So it wasn't easy, but they're only 5 down. Harry Burnell, 37. George Bacon, 30. Seb Said, 24. Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it was particularly easy there, but they got over the line pretty comfortably in the end. And there's the tie, the Cavs tie that we just discussed. Bulletin 257, Cavs 257. I don't think I mentioned all the guys. We've got obviously Fateh Singh 78, Akil Patel 44, Sav Pereira 44, and then Johan Cronje 68, Hassan Azad 67, and Hamish Lewin 59. So there's lots of guys sharing the runs around there in that tie game. Caythorpe, they got 192 all out in 45 overs. Freddie King with 53. And then they bowled Attenborough out for 170 and 42. Josh Orson got 60. Lucas Stiniford with 30. But Ollie Henshaw for Caythorpe to go with 21. Also got 4 for 19. So a very good day for him. And then the last game to mention, Hucknall versus Mansfield Hosiery Bills. Hucknall 265 for 7. Greg Willows 118. Again, there's not many hundreds this weekend, so that was a biggie. Sam Johnson 52. They then bowled out Mansfield for 133. Mark Smallwood with 48 and Ryan Kirella 31. But they weren't able to get many past that. Jake Wright with 5 for 37 was the chief destroyer for Hucknall.
Mark Smallwood, top scorer for Mansfield Hosiery Mills there. You can't take the mickey out of him this week.
No, I can't. No.
He did his bit.
I can't and shan't. He's a good man, and he's done well. Yeah,
absolutely. One side I'm not going to take the mickey out of is Hucknall. I've got to give credit to one player in particular, Greg Willows. So I had the pleasure before my holiday of going to see Hucknall chase down a huge total at Rothley Park in the ECB National Knockout. Unbelievable partnership between Greg Willows and Oliver Horlock, two players that I'd not seen live before. Greg Willows, let's just say he's a bit laid back. He strikes the ball rather nicely, though, and he's got a flourish when he wants it. But when you look at his numbers, Hugh, for this year, Greg Willows is on 966 runs all in so far this year. He's about just under 700 in the league. He's got 966 runs, 350s, 5 tons in 15 innings. Yeah, he's basically scored a 50 or a ton every other game at the moment. Watch this young man. This is a player who I think could score some monumental runs this year. If he's at 700 almost already in the league, in a league that does have some high run scorers, but actually that's a big number already, isn't it?
Yeah. No,
talking of shout outs, I'm going to talk about Hucknall. I was at Rothley Park just before my holiday there, Hugh, to see them chase down a massive total in the ECB National Knockout. Unbelievable partnership between Oliver Horlock and Greg Willows, young man who I've not seen bat live, and he's right up there in some of the best batters I've seen in the last couple of years. He's scored 966 runs all in, 699 in the league so far. But more importantly, he gets a 50 or a ton 1 in 2 games at the moment. To see him score another ton the week after I saw him at Rothley the week before. Very impressive striker of the ball is all I'll say. And that Hucknall side, going back to the National Knockout, they could still go a lot further. And I'll say that openly because their bowling lineup is good, but their batting lineup was so powerful against Ollie Freckingham, Nathan Buck, a really top-class Rothley Park side. But the interesting one, of course, is where do Hucknall travel to next? Just down the road from me and you, somewhere that we both know, they go to Spondon. Now, I'd love to be at that game. I'm not sure where I'll be on that day yet, but Hucknall will travel to Spondon and will play the winners of Hales Owen and Nolan Dorridge, who got to a semi-final last year. So they haven't got an easy route, is the best way to put it. But very impressive batting lineup, which I think, you look how Penzance got to the final last year. That was what got them there. Their batting lineup was just 40 overs, being able to take people apart, basically, wasn't it?
Yeah. Interesting to see how he goes. I mean, in terms of Greg, just a bit of his backstory. Dorset, played a lot out in Australia, and his Cric info card suggests Western Province under 17. I'm not sure if that's right. But Gloucestershire, he's a really experienced player, isn't he? And just a proven performer on the Premier League stage over many seasons, and he's currently averaging 87 this year. So yeah, he's doing all right.
Not a bad way to be. Not a bad way to be, is it? And he is right now in second place in the country behind a certain Bryce Parsons when it comes to most runs across Premier Leagues. Nice to have seen some of them live. Striking at 103 as well. Definitely one to watch without a doubt. But I think when you do look at that sort of top 10 across the Premier Leagues across the country, the names that stand out when you see Jaden Draper, who scored that 250 a few weeks ago, Zimis Deploy, Taylor Connell, Steve Bullen, Bryce Parsons, and Tom Wood just round the corner from me at Tignall. We've got some proper players really doing the business around the leagues there and making life really interesting across the Premier Leagues.
Yeah, I'd say the run score is probably slightly down on this time last year. I think we had a few people already pushing close to 1,000 after 10.
Yeah, I think Adam Jones wasn't he, last year? Who's not back here this year, to unfortunately. But no, Nottinghamshire League, just to round that one up as well. Not surprisingly, It's very tight at the top because it's quite early doors. But Kimberley on 72 points with 9 wins and haven't been beaten yet. Cabs are only on 60 points, just sort of 1.5, 2 games behind them there. Hucknall in 3rd place, Clipston in 4th. Caythorpe and Attenborough down the bottom. Looks difficult for them this year together with Papelwick. And your mate Mark at Mansfield Hosiery Mills, they're in the middle of the table. They look as though they'd be okay. But I think Kimberley are going to really give Cabs and Carrington a good push this year. And Kimberley themselves are also got a rather competitive game to come up in the next round of the National Knockout away at Ockbrook. So that'll be Zimmis deploy on duty for Ockbrook, and is it Matt Campbell who's playing over at Kimberley these days? So that should be a good one to see what cracks off there.
Always nice place to play, isn't it? So
it is most definitely. Yep. So we'll round up this week's show with just looking at the National Knockout, and really pleased after the round 3 has gone through. Aaron Campbell has shared with us the national stages of the draw, and we've already mentioned a couple. We could have New Farnley v Ormskirk in the quarterfinals. That could be something a bit special to say the least. We've got potentially Nolan Dorridge coming up against Hucknall or Spondon. Ockbrook or Kimberley, whoever wins that one, Hugh. Barton Green versus Smethwick, in round 4. That's going to be a cracker down there as well. I think some of the southern stuff that's really interesting. Still got a good number of clubs from the Surrey Championship. Wimbledon and Banstead got to go up against each other. But the game that caught my eye straight away, there's the one below it. Brentwood versus Sawston and Babraham. That looks a cracker in the next round, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, Bath Bristol, you think Bath probably have enough there, wouldn't they? But Shepherd's Bush, East Molesey as well, and then we'll play the winner of that one. That could be a lot of fun. But it's amazing how short this PDF that we get sent by the ECB gets. How quickly, we go from a sort of a 20-page PDF with all the games on it. All of a sudden, we're on one side of A4.
We're down to the last 32, and it's very, very tight, isn't it? I just can't believe we've got to the last 32, and we're in the first week of June still, or second week of June now, and we're looking ahead to the finals in a few months' time. I'm going to put my money on a team from the Surrey Championship coming through to the final from the south, because they've got such weight down there, unless our old friends at Brentwood keep ticking over. But can you imagine if they both win? You could end up with Wimbledon versus Brentwood in the they've called it the quarterfinal. It's not the quarterfinal.
It's not the quarterfinal. It's the last 16, isn't it? I suppose
in the last 16. You could end up with literally could have Wimbledon versus Brentwood in the last 16. Some of these games are just ridiculous. Some of the games are so big. The 2 Premier Leagues with the most entries still left: Birmingham Premier and Surrey Championship. So they're the ones who can be patted on the back for not only taking the competition seriously, but doing well in it. Which is that's.
But also the league. If they do get to the final, the leagues finish in August, don't they, down south? So you've got a lot of focus on this, whereas you end up with dubious teams being put out on a Saturday for the northern teams to get their league fixtures done for scuttling off to Lords or where are we this year? Wormsley this year, aren't we? So it's there's a little bit of an advantage there potentially, unless they lose their pros as they go back overseas. So interesting how it's going to develop. But it should be going to be an interesting summer.
Yeah, Matt Taaffe always says it, doesn't he, from Cric? You want a pro's going to be there right through the summer, because if you're in these national comps, what's the point of them going home at third week in August, and all of a sudden you've got, just pick a name off the top of my head, Jordan Silk missing. Because that's what's happening.
Still won it, didn't they?
Still won it. But it's remarkable how some of these clubs are taking this so seriously in comparison to others. And in fact, I do know of a couple of clubs, and I'm not going to name them, whose players missed NCCA games over the last few weeks. to play in the national comp because their club have targeted it. Now, Penzance did that last year, and it got them all the way to the final. So, again, you got to clearly look at the sides, look who's playing, and understand that these guys are taking it serious, but big time. So,
yeah, and they just got to stay out of the bar on the evening of the win, haven't they?
Which is a perfect way for us to end this week once again, as we sit to wait to hear whether we've got an England captain or not for next week. But if we have, it might be a different one, to say the least.
Yes.
What you got coming up in the next week, mate? You got much cricket coming up?
A few hospital visits with a young boy on his finger. No, not a huge amount, no. I think I'm going to do some work at the Download Festival. So, yeah.
Are you?
Cheeky bit of Download Festival work. So that gets me off a weekend of cricket. Yeah.
Does that mean you get to just listen to music all weekend and work?
Well, a little bit of that, yeah. So I thought I'd have a wander down there and get paid for the privilege. So that sounds fun. It's I've got a fairly quiet one this week. It'll all start ramping up very soon, I think, once the summer holidays kick in with the kids. So, it's going to be fun. But no, I've got a fairly quiet one this week.
Absolutely. Enjoy, mate. Enjoy the Download. Expect to see some dodgy T-shirts in the next couple of weeks come out of Download.
Well, that's it, yeah. I might have a new haircut and a face tattoo.
Absolutely. Enjoy, mate.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining us at the Premier League Cricket Club. We'll be back soon with more from the world of Premier League and NCCA cricket. But in the meantime, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review and follow us wherever you get your socials. Or maybe check out our website, premierleaguecricket.co.uk, to stay updated. Until next time, have a good one.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Hey guys, I found the only gift that Dad wants this Father's Day. Goldbelly. Goldbelly ships the most iconic foods from the best restaurants across the country straight to his door for free. Let him relax and enjoy award-winning barbecue from Texas, epic deep dish pizza from Chicago, or colossal pastrami sandwiches from New York. Make Dad feel like an absolute legend this Father's Day and go to goldbelly.com to get 20% off your first order with promo code DAD. That's goldbelly.com, code DAD.